This week's properties have potential for work on a massive scale.
Brace yourselves.
OK?
Oh, good.
This wall could come out. I mean, that wall could come out.
We've got a huge job ahead of us.
To be honest, it's freaking me out a little bit.
I actually don't think it's the one.
Oh, it's horrible.
Can we get the work done?
I'm on a positive already.
This is amazing.
Or will the scale of the task push us over the edge?
Ow.
This has to be the most disastrous viewing I have had.
This week we're in London's southeast, where I'm helping a couple of cruise ship entertainers find somewhere with a bit of razzle and dazzle.
And I'm with a pair of cool designers eager to find a wreck in need of a relaunch.
We're certainly going to have to work our magic to find a showstopper before the curtain comes down on this one.
Both of our couples have chosen to kickstart their searches in southeast London.
It's an area midway between the city and the Kent countryside, and it has lovely locations to suit our house hunters' lifestyles.
I'm scouring the streets with Nadine Jarvis and Toby Haddon, a couple of creatives who are looking for a home ripe for renovation.
And I'm searching with Jason Parsons and Peter Roberts, a dynamic double act who met while sailing the high seas.
Well, we've been together now for 13 years, and I guess you can say we fell in love on the Love Boat.
For the last decade, home has been a swanky ocean liner, where this busy pair are in charge of entertainment for 3,000 passengers on board.
B8, don't swim with the sharks or you'll be 8.
At sea, Jason and Peter live in a tiny 10 by 20 foot cabin. And when they're back on dry land, they shuttle between family and friends' homes. But the lure of their nomadic life has lost its sparkle.
But we do feel that now it's time to come and find a home at home, a base where after our 6 months at sea, we can come back, relax and just entertain.
With a chance to splash the cash at every port, they're going to need a property with lots of space.
We have lots of what we call treasures. Basically all the junk we bring home from, India, from Africa.
And Peter sounds like a man after Kirstie's heart.
He's a very big shopper. In fact, he's most of the time known as the Imelda Marcus with his shoe collection.
These guys are desperately pining for a house of their own, and they've been looking for 18 months.
That one looks really, really quirky, but when you look inside, it's just so higgledy-piggledy.
But in all that time, they've only managed to view 10 properties together.
When we're on the ship, we can actually search for properties, but due to the time restraints, it is physically impossible to then come back and chase up some of those properties, because a lot of the time they've actually been sold on.
This pair's property search has gone adrift. And with only 10 days to go before Jason heads back to sea, it's time for me to get on board and help navigate them in the right direction.
Well, this is a very nice place to come and meet you and have a cup of coffee and a bit of breakfast, but it's not actually yours, I understand.
No. It belongs to two of our friends, and they are part of the extended family who put us up when we come back.
So it's high time you had a place of your own. Let's talk about the house itself and what you need out of that.
I think for us, space. We live on a little cabin for the most of the year, so when we come home, we want to stretch out into the house. And storage, of course.
You work in entertainment. Are you going to be doing lots of entertaining at home as well?
We want something we can actually bring our friends to.
We want to be able to bring people back and be proud of our house. So I know there's a saying, keeping up with the Joneses. We want to give the Joneses a run for their money.
So how much have we got to spend?
We can go up to 290,000.
Yeah.
But I guess if we see the house and it's just turnkey, we walk in and have to do nothing, then I think probably we're going to be able to stretch the budget just a little bit.
OK. Are you hoping to turnkey and walk in? Is that the plan?
I think so, yeah, because we're not home for that often, so when you come home, the last thing you want to be doing is having the builders in.
OK. Let's make a start.
Jason and Peter have £290,000, with a little leeway to go a few grand over if they find a house in move-in condition which has entertaining space and decent storage. They'd like to live close to their friends in the London suburb of Beckenham.
While Phil's cruising along with his couple, I'm going to be getting creative with designers Nadine and Toby. My pair live in Brockley, an area that attracts many artists because of its proximity to Goldsmiths College, where they both trained. So it's no coincidence that our design duo and their beloved dog Rochford were drawn here.
We're
love the area. We got a good community of friends. When we saw this place, it made sense, didn't it? So, yeah, that's why we're here.
Nadine and Toby are a couple after my own heart. They bought their first flat at 26 and have spent the last 3 years doing it up by themselves.
It was quite a mess when we first got here, and we've redone everything. So we've replaced all the floors throughout the property, put in a new kitchen, a new bathroom, pretty much redesigned the whole space and how it works.
Having outgrown and recently sold their flat, this stylish couple have got designs on their next project. And they know exactly what they want.
Oh, there's that pebble dash painted.
It's white pebble dash, yeah, exactly.
There's no Georgian. We're going to rip everything out no matter what, so it may as well be a wreck.
We want something that's architecturally interesting, that's got a bit of a story behind it.
We seem to be drawn to those flat-fronted Georgian properties.
We really want to buy on a street that's got very similar looking houses.
Steel yourself, Kirstie. I think you're about to meet our pickiest pair ever.
The criteria just goes on and on, but it all doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, I think it's going to come down to a feeling.
Well, that's crystal clear then.
Nadine and Toby had the feeling once, when they thought they'd found their dream home. But sadly, they lost their perfect property in a bidding war.
It was a bit of a heartbreaker, actually.
It's caused a problem, because we would have probably moved by now had we not seen that house. Because we wouldn't be expecting so much.
Yeah.
With only 2 weeks to go before they have to move out of their flat, Nadine and Toby urgently need to find a home. It's time for me to take these two back to the drawing board.
You've loved and lost, and we need to sort of take a jetpack and blast you out of that previous search into a new search.
Definitely.
That sounds good.
We're up for that. That sounds fantastic. Let's do that.
What we want is to get you a bigger, more future-proof home.
The flat that we have just sold, it's the best flat on the worst street.
What you want is the worst house on the best street. You want the bomb site, and I think focusing on the worst house in the best street is probably a very, very good mission.
Yeah, we're definitely up for that. I mean, it's an interesting way of looking at it. Definitely very different to the way we looked at it before.
My couple have a budget of £350,000. They're looking for an unusual property with a flat-fronted exterior. It must be in an area with similar architecture, close to Brockley, and have an interesting story to boot.
Their wish list reads like a novel, but with you on the job, Kirstie, I'm sure it'll have a happy ending.
I have got a really sweet couple who've loved and lost and are very design orientated, so could be dangerously picky.
Yes.
But they did great works on their first flat, so got high hopes.
I was quite nervous about going to meet my couple because they're both entertainment directors on cruise ships. I was thinking they're going to be larger than life, they're going to be singing and dancing, and actually they were fine. They live in tiny cabins.
Yeah.
They're only in this country for a few months of the year. The rest of the time they're at sea. But they need a home base for all their treasures and their shoe collection.
Wow.
150 pairs of shoes, one of them has.
150 pairs of shoes?
Yes, some of them with glitter on them.
They must love you.
Our house hunters have certainly taken a shine to South East London, which is a shrewd move as property prices here are 21% cheaper than those north of the river.
If you're looking for an area of London with great transport connections and decent-sized properties, head 8 miles out of the city to Jason and Peter's preferred area of Beckenham. It's a pretty suburb with a massive draw.
It's family-oriented because of the schools. Lots of people move here when their children are just at school age.
It's quite difficult to buy a family house and everything, just because the schools are quite good around this area. People live here for a long time, so the family houses don't come up.
I guess actually once they're in and they've got the kids into the school, they're not going anywhere.
No, exactly.
That's going to make it tough for Jason and Peter. Although they don't care for league tables or catchment areas, they are desperate for a family-sized property in Beckenham, and they don't come cheap.
A 3-bed house in this area can set you back a staggering £400,000, over twice the national average. The lads don't have that kind of cash, but we've still managed to find them a great 3-bedroom property in the town.
First little number for you is this. I thought quite a handsome looking house. first thoughts on being here and looking at it?
It's got a nice curb appeal.
I like the frontage. I like something that's got a bit, not classic.
If the guys want a turnkey property in their dream location, then this 3-bedroom house delivers. It's in mint condition and the price should please them too. It's on the market at just under £280,000, which is 10 grand under budget.
Now, the front room is, as with most of the rest of the house, beautiful, perfectly formed, quite small.
Yeah.
It's a family living here, and you're not going to have a family.
No.
What?
So, sorry to break that.
I like the way it's been finished.
I like that it's still got like a period cornice around the top.
The house has been on the market for some time. I want to show the guys the reason why I think it's not shifting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a bit bijou.
Until I met you,
Yeah.
I didn't know how big you were. But it's tiny.
Even for us, we live in a 20 by 10 foot cabin, and I think the bathroom on the cabin is actually bigger than what it is in there.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
But bijou bathing needn't concern the lads because I've got the answer.
You could incorporate the bathroom with this bedroom, and then in time, or when money allowed, you go up into the loft.
Okay. But obviously then we'd lose all the storage.
Well, that idea didn't float their boat. I wonder if the rest of the space will be enough for them and all their treasures.
I wouldn't be happy to really sacrifice a bedroom and then losing the storage upstairs just to accommodate a bathroom.
Yeah.
It's too big of a compromise.
And as you said, the one on the ship is bigger.
Yeah.
Sounds like a chorus line of disapproval to me.
So how did I do there? First property, any good?
It's in the right area.
Yeah.
The size of the main bedroom is decent, but I think the rest of the house is a bit too small for what we would need it for.
Yeah, the entertainment space isn't going to work size-wise.
So not bad, could do better.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll move on.
I suspect some tough lessons in the art of compromise may be on the horizon. Keep searching, Captain Spencer.
Living a life on the ocean waves, our cruise ship entertainers have got cabin fever. They're desperate to find a home before having to set sail again.
Well, our design duo already have the blueprint for their dream home, but can I find the property that'll fit in with their plans?
We're house hunting in southeast London. I'm with Jason and Peter. My first property in Beckenham was too bijou for the boys, so I'm hoping my next number will get them singing and dancing.
And I'm searching with Nadine and Toby, who are looking for a habitable wreck that they can renovate. Unfortunately, properties like that don't come easy, so I've had to stretch the search. We're heading closer to the city, to the vibrant and arty area of Camberwell. They've discounted this patch because of price, but I'm confident my first property will win them over. It's got so much potential that I've brought Phil along. His skill as a surveyor will be invaluable.
All I will say now is brace yourselves. Okay?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I like to be...
This is a challenge, almost, I think, maybe one of the most challenging things we've ever shown anyone.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah. OK, right. In we go.
Nadine and Toby want a house with a good story, and this huge property has certainly got that. The ground floor was originally a shop, but now the whole building is home to a Masonic order, and it's ripe for renovation. This 3-storey building could well be the wreck they're after. It's a massive space, over 1,500 square feet, and every single part of it needs restoration. It's on the market and offers over £350,000, which is all of Nadine and Toby's budget, leaving them no cash to start the work.
Something of a surprise, I should imagine.
This is amazing. I love it.
This is an Afro-Caribbean Masonic hall.
And you could use this as well as living, it's habitable as well, this bottom floor.
If you wanted to live in this room here, you'd have to reapply for planning permission. It would take time. You'd have to demonstrate that there wasn't a demand for it to be a shop.
If you're tempted to transform a commercial property into a home, take a leaf out of Toby's book and do your research. It's crucial to weigh up the work involved before making a decision to part with your cash.
This is just huge. I didn't expect anything this big.
Nadine loves the scale of this place, but I wonder if she realises the size of the job at hand.
I did hear Toby say to you as you came upstairs, don't, calm down. What's all that about?
Yeah, I get excited really quickly and I don't necessarily think about the problems. Whereas he's probably thinking, how are we going to have the money to do this?
Yes.
Toby's right to be cautious about this place because there is so much work to do. There's damp in the basement, holes in the roof, and it needs a complete refurb.
Yeah, it's quite a scary space. I mean, it's huge.
This building does look scary, but it is structurally sound.
There's a hell of a lot of work to do here, isn't there?
It is.
Which is great, that's what we asked for.
Well, you'd have to live in it while he did it.
Yeah. Everything we've looked at before this has been quite a bit smaller, and you can understand how quickly it'll take you to do things, whereas this is a little bit more of an unwieldy beast, as it were.
They're serious about doing all the work themselves. They could save a large amount of money.
I love that.
But it would keep them busy for years.
I wouldn't blame them if they didn't have the courage for that house, but they have embraced it initially really well.
Yeah. Most people you take around something like that would be frightened.
Would cry and run out of the door.
This property has so much more space than they'd ever hoped for. But will the scale of the work send them running back to Brockley?
This is fantastic. In fact, let's just leave.
Let's just leave.
Still excited?
Yeah.
Seen anything to put you off?
Not too much, but it is a big job. That's the only thing. I mean, I'm up for it, but it is, as I say, it's just the scaling on it.
We've set a reasonably high bar. We've got other properties to see, other things to consider.
It's a great start, though.
Smiling faces all round. When Captain Spencer's on board Kirstie's search, it's plain sailing. Jason and Peter failed to fall for my first property, so I'm taking them a mile down the road from Beckenham to Penge, where they'll get a lot more house for their money.
I think the house is deceiving. It actually gets bigger as you go further through it.
This property has 3 decent-sized bedrooms, beautiful period features, and bags of space for entertaining and storing all their treasures. And you couldn't call this bathroom bijou. The property's priced at £315,000, which is 25 grand over their budget. But I've heard that the vendors would accept a lower offer.
Right, we've got a kind of upscaled house here.
OK.
I think you'd want to redecorate. This isn't a turnkey.
No, there's nice features as well. Nice fireplace, original fireplace.
You could decide to knock through because you've got another room same size as this there.
What is the other side?
Have a look, after you. This wall could come out. I mean, that wall could come out. It all depends on budget and how you live.
Yeah.
There's even more options in here because you could open that up and then have a massive kitchen.
Yeah, it was a surprise. I'm on a positive already.
Good on them. They don't seem fazed by the idea of a little work.
It's plenty big enough as it is, but you can grow into it. You can buy more treasures and stuff.
No more treasures.
I don't know why I always look at Peter when I talk about treasures. You help yourself upstairs. Jason and I will have a look out the back here. There's a decent garden. What's it going to be like in your own place? I mean, I'm not being rude here, but you haven't actually had to look after yourself and do all the running about of washing and cleaning.
I think it would just be a change of pace, really.
You're up for it?
Yeah. You can't be Peter Pan forever. You've got to grow up. Yeah.
Oh, I'd like to be Peter Pan. I think it's a very nice way of living. Why don't you see what Peter thinks?
I'm hoping he'll be seriously impressed by the size of this house. It's 358 square feet bigger than Property 1, so there's no chance of getting cabin fever in here.
I like the storage cupboard here as well. Cool. Is it like far?
Oh, yeah, really good storage,
yeah. I have to say, after the first property, this one's given me more of a better vibe, actually. I'm in a good place at the moment. This is a happy place. I like it.
This house is certainly getting Jason's vote, but his enthusiasm seems to have fallen on deaf ears. I think the search is still on for Peter's perfect pad.
Nadine and Toby were tempted by my property number 1, but a renovation of that scale will consume their lives, so I wanted to show them a more manageable option in another area they're considering. Hither Green is 2 miles from their current home in Brockley. It hasn't got the same buzz yet, but there are signs that this area is on the up. This house could be the blank canvas our design duo are after, and it's huge. It's got 4 double bedrooms, a loft, and a 40-foot garden. It's on the market at £347,500, which is on budget. Nadine and Toby did ask for a flat-fronted property, but I think this charming exterior would appeal to most people.
It doesn't have any curb appeal at all.
To be honest, it's freaking me out a little bit.
Let's just try and keep an open mind, all of us.
Yeah.
And we'll just go in and see how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, it's horrible.
What would you have to discover about this house to make you want to buy it?
Nothing.
I don't think.
Like that, it suddenly just became a different house.
Make absolutely sure that you really, really don't like this house as much as you don't like this house.
Well, let's check out the garden, because that's going to be the feature, right?
Right. Let's do it.
This has to be the most disastrous viewing I have had.
Chin up, Kirstles. Perhaps they'll change their tune once they've seen the back garden.
That's right.
This is a lovely feature.
Especially because it's so high, you can't escape that.
Can you imagine the family barbecue out here?
Something tells me these guys won't be sizzling sausages out there next summer.
It's made us realise that perhaps suburbia is not really...
Not for us.
You did play with the idea of somewhere slightly more out of town. Yeah. We've looked to see the best that's available. This is the best that's available. It's confirmed that we need to stay further in town.
Yeah.
My pair definitely win the award for conducting the fastest house tour ever. It is fair to say that neither this house or the location got their vote. Time to get ourselves closer to the city.
6 miles away, I'm hard at it, working to help Jason and Peter find their perfect home. The last house showed that Jason was more charmed by period features than Peter, so I'm hoping my next number will win them both over. This house is in Anneley, which is 2 miles west of Beckenham High Street. The property is so big, I've called in the cavalry.
Is it still raining?
Yeah, it's still raining. Bucketing. So I'll wait for them out front.
Well, at least your hair's not going to go for, is he?
No, if only it would.
If it's space for entertaining thereafter, then this house has got it in spades. The open-plan living space connects to a conservatory, which leads onto this lovely garden.
It's on the market at £300,000. I've heard houses on the street go for around 290, which would bring it in on budget.
Being in Anneley effectively means you get more for your money. So yes, you've got the conservatory. You've also got 4 bedrooms and a second bathroom. Come on, let's go and see all these bedrooms.
Yeah. Okay.
Bathroom, 3 bedrooms, and up again into what would have been the attic and is now a very nice master bedroom and ensuite. Nice, yeah. It's the biggest thing we've seen by some distance. It's 1,300 square feet.
Oh wow, really big, yeah.
Have a look at the bathroom.
Yeah, this is really nice. It's got
nicely made out.
It's got a nice tower rail, and it's actually quite manly, actually.
Yeah.
Get all your products out there as well.
Yeah, you can't have more than Phil. Phil is product man. His sponge bag is bigger than mine.
Is it?
I'm not saying anything.
Sponge bags aside, will the ensuite swing it for Jason?
If someone said this has got to be your home, what would you feel?
I don't know, I think I'd have to see a bit more of it first.
I have this thing that there's an 11-second rule, which is not always true, but that people know in the first 11 seconds.
Well, I will say, I mean, yesterday with the second property, once we walked in the front door and saw the hallway, I agree with the 11. Yeah.
You felt
I felt the love, yeah.
So all this fabulous space isn't doing it for Jason. I wonder what Peter's thinking.
I think the front room's actually a funny shape. I don't know how it would be set up to watch TV and work functionally.
So far, Peter's been very analytical about the properties, and I need to work out whether that's just his style or whether I'm showing him the wrong houses.
Are you going to look at all 4 and then go, OK, well, that's the best one, I'll buy it? Or are you looking for love and motion and passion?
I think I'm looking for love and excitement. It's a huge commitment, and I want to make sure that we get the right one.
I'll tell you the reason why I ask, because as we walk around the property, I don't see any passion and excitement.
I thought this house had everything they were looking for and more, but if emotion is what Peter's after, then perhaps it doesn't fit the bill.
So, what do you reckon?
I like the residential street.
I can hear a but. I can hear a big BUT somewhere.
Yeah. No, I actually don't think it's the one.
Do you think you've seen the one?
No.
Buying your first home with your partner is a massive decision, so it's no wonder Peter's holding out for the one. Now it's up to me to make sure he falls for my final property.
I'm with designers Nadine and Toby, who have set their heart on a restoration project they can really sink their teeth into.
And I'm with cruise ship entertainers Jason and Peter, whose property search has been all at sea. They're desperate to drop anchor on dry land.
But we have a lot of work to do if we're to prevent our searches sinking without trace.
Both sets of house hunters are looking in southeast London. The lads weren't sold on my property number 3 in Annerley, so I've got one last chance to find them a house in their dream location.
My design duo loved property number 1, but the Masonic Hall needs lots of work. They loathe everything about property number 2, so the pressure is on to win them over with my final house.
Nadine and Toby are essentially searching for a windmill, i.e. that 1 in 10,000 properties. We found one very special property, but it's my job to make sure that if they take that on, they really know what they're doing. I've got a great house to show them now. It's much, much cheaper. Financially, it would be a really good idea for them to move in. They'd have money to do the work, etc., etc. Are they going to see that? Don't know. But we can't have a repeat of yesterday afternoon, because that was a disaster.
For my final house, I'm taking Nadine and Toby back to home turf. We're going to Brockley, the area they know and love. It's 5 miles south of the city and is one of London's best preserved Victorian suburbs. So I'm confident that my last house has all the looks they're after.
It is a nice shaped house.
It's a nice shaped house. It is a nice shaped house.
Original features.
And it's semi-detached because it's on the corner.
Yeah, which is good.
This property serves up all the space they asked for, and it would be half the work of property number 1, the Masonic Hall. It's got 3 bedrooms and a back garden with enough space for a studio. It's on at just under £285,000, which is a whopping 65 grand under budget.
All it needs is a bit of modernisation, and you're the perfect people to do that.
Yeah.
Psychologically, it's a lot less strenuous.
But this could be the reality of what we will end up having to get.
Yeah,
I'm thinking that the thing that puts me off far more than the house or anything we do is the road.
It's the road.
Because if I'm going to live in a residential street, I want to be well away from anything with that sort of level of passing traffic.
If Nadine and Toby want to stay in their beloved Brockley, this busy road is the compromise.
It's worth considering just in terms of actually having cash in the pocket.
Isn't it? It's cash in the pocket. And,
You normally are the one saying that we should be sensible, but you're not.
This is too sensible.
This place would leave them with money in the bank to do the work, but it's not inspiring them.
There's nothing that's really exciting about it.
It's not so much of a challenge, and it's not particularly interesting.
So even the lure of a house which is under budget, with looks and location, isn't enough to tempt them away from the Masonic Hall in Camberwell.
Jason and Peter weren't seduced by the space in my property number 3, so it's time to take them back to their number 1 area of Beckenham for my last showstopper. This stunning 2-bed house has all the open-plan entertaining space they're after. And if Peter's looking to impress their friends, this stylish kitchen diner should do the trick. And upstairs, the loft's been cleverly converted into an extra bedroom. Currently marketed at just under £280,000, this house is 10 grand under budget.
Much more traditional layout here.
Oh, yeah.
So the room's already been opened up.
I like this one the best so far, I think.
Yeah, because of...
No, automatically I'll get a better feeling of this one. It's a bit modern.
Finally, a positive reaction from Peter.
Coming through a very high-spec kitchen.
Very.
It's quite masculine.
Yeah, this is very nice.
The contemporary look of the kitchen has caught Peter's eye.
Is this a dishwasher?
He's doing appliances already.
But it's a good sign that he's looking around and seeing where everyone would go.
And upstairs, there's plenty of space to store their treasures.
Oh, wow, it's an attic room. Wow.
Look!
It's a huge
storage
space.
This house ticks all their boxes, but are they both on board?
still teetering on house 2 with a classic look, but no, this has got to do it.
It's definitely, I think, the best house we've seen so far.
Finally, some genuine excitement from Peter. I think this is the kind of keeping up with the Joneses house that they've been looking for. Having said that, Jason still holds a bit of a flame for house number 2, so it's not all done and dusted yet.
I wonder if my final act will be the one.
Could it be home?
Yeah, I think so.
And we've got the tram and the train running across the back here. Problem or not?
No, I don't think so.
So, we're cooking.
I think we are.
We're finally alive.
Bit of excitement.
Yeah,
Excited?
Yeah, I am really good. That's good.
The curtain isn't down on this search yet, but I've got a sneaky feeling that I might just be home and dry.
Nadine and Toby are itching to get back to property number 1, the Masonic Hall in Camberwell. But having realised the scale of the work involved, they've invited along Dominic Neal, their architect friend.
It's the usual problems, but hey.
What's that?
What's the usual problems?
I'm just looking at funny things like the way the staircase works and the strange cornices, and you're going to rip all this stuff out.
But in the sense of what, just visually strange or kind of actually structurally strange?
Just visually strange, but you do have to be realistic about it. You're
much
busier
time do you do for
and older than you were last time you did this, and
It's true.
I do worry slightly.
Wise words indeed. With a property with this much work, excitement and optimism aren't enough.
Oh, I'm too old and too spoilt to even consider what Nadine and Toby are thinking about. This place is going to take so much work, and it's them. They're not going to be paying a man. They're going to be doing it.
I'm so full of admiration for these two.
What do you think, Dominic, now you've seen it all?
I think it's got a massive amount of potential. You can do so much with the back of this house to make it a beautiful, sun-filled, cavernous space.
Yeah. Sign of approval from our friend Dom, the architect.
Now we've won Dominic over, it's time to go and talk business.
Over in Beckenham, Jason and Peter have had a troubled night, and they've asked to meet me before we go any further.
Morning, man. How you doing? You've got the notebook out. This is good to see.
It is, yes.
Although we initially really loved house number 4, when we come away and thought about it, I think we've still got house number 2 in the running as well.
We need to make a confident decision, so
Okay.
let's check them both out.
Perfect.
Okay.
So it's straight back to the traditional period property number 2 that Jason loved. It's on the market at $315,000, and I'm hoping this viewing will help them decide if they'd be willing to do any work to create the open plan living space they're after.
I think for me, to want to live in it, I'd like to have that as a through lounge.
Okay.
And probably eventually, for sure, I think we definitely need to change the kitchen.
That's a surprise for two people who wanted a turnkey property. I think Peter and his exacting standards could give my pioneering pair a run for their money.
This is getting tense. It's crunch time for these two.
I don't know.
We need to go and check out the period features. You're the one who likes the period features. I really don't mind either way about them.
This viewing has crystallised their dilemma. They're split. Jason's lost his heart to period features in this place, while Peter's mind is on other matters.
Well, walking back again in that front door, I'd already put the art on the walls. And then going up that staircase, which is, again, an open staircase, I like the balustrade and the banister on it.
If we spend $15,000 putting in a new kitchen and doing the dividing wall, that's like $15,000. Then probably, I don't know how much a new bathroom would be, probably another $5,000.
Before we go any further, let's get ourselves over to House 4 and see if you need to spend any money there.
OK, perfect.
So it's back to Beckenham to see the cool, contemporary and 35 grand cheaper property that Peter loved.
What did you feel walking through the door?
No, I mean, I do like this one. If we opened up the other house number 2 to look like this, then ultimately we would get this finish as well.
Second viewings are really important to help you spot the finer details of a property that you didn't notice the first time round. And Peter's not missing a trick.
Coming back to both houses do make you see everything in a different light. This one, we put a skylight in downstairs. I think we'd want to do that, and I think we would want to replace this.
Seems this pad is not quite as perfect as Peter first thought.
I think the negatives for this house is the actual staircase leading up to that 3rd bedroom and the fact that it does back onto the tram tracks.
But choosing a home isn't as simple as compiling a list of pros and cons. It's a life-changing decision which involves our emotions, and Peter's been wrestling with a few of his own.
Yesterday in the conservatory, you asked me, I'm not getting very much of a reaction from you. Obviously, in my job, I'm in charge of entertaining maybe 2,000, 3,000 people, and I have to make decisions, and those decisions are made, and then everything runs as clockwork. And here I am, doing the biggest purchase I'm ever going to do in my life, and because of you, all those decisions and house hunting has been taken totally out of my hands.
I'm not pretending it's easy, it never is.
Yeah.
We know that handing control of such an important part of your life to someone else is extremely daunting, but it really can be worth it.
What I've tried to do is shortlist and only show you the ones that I feel are genuinely suitable. If you're just doing the sums, it's this one. But what I'm picking up from you both is there's more to it than just the sums.
I'm all about the home. I'm not looking at the investment and the money we can make on it when selling it on. If we better the house, bettering the house for us, not to sell it on to somebody else.
We must get ourselves on neutral ground.
Yes.
Decide what you're going to do.
Perfect.
Definitely.
Coming back to both houses has given them a lot to think about, and it's clear it's not as straightforward as counting the cash. This could go either way.
For Nadine and Toby, there was only ever one house in the running. They've fallen for property number 1, the Masonic Hall. It's priced at offers over £350,000, which is over their budget. But for the 2.5 years it's been on the market, the owners have never managed to secure the asking price. So we need to talk tactics.
Is there any chance we could go 330, or is that pushing it too far, do you think?
Basically, you'd like to make an initial offer of 330.
Yeah.
They've accepted a number of offers at 350.
Yeah.
The fact that they've fallen through
Gives us
is
some
what
leverage.
we're going to go with.
Time to get down to business.
It's not for me to advise your client, but I think really they should just call it a day, accept an offer of £330,000 and go on their merry way.
It's a considered offer for a property that's been on the market for 2.5 years. But will the vendors see it our way?
We're in southeast London with two couples who have fallen for very different properties. Our designers have been won over by a wreck they can renovate, while our entertainers haven't even managed to reach a decision. Now it's up to us to sail these searches safely back to port.
For Nadine and Toby, the first offer of £330,000 is on the table for the Masonic Hall in Camberwell.
This isn't going to ring in a hurry. There's 3 trustees and a secretary.
That's really rubbish.
No, I know, it doesn't work like that. I don't have a magic wand which makes this ring back within 5 minutes.
Stand by, Kirstie. You might have to eat your words.
Right, OK.
Simon?
This is not good, you ringing me back this quickly. They have said that they simply will not accept less than 350.
Unfortunately, the owners are sticking to their guns.
OK.
No dice.
They were quick to say no.
So where will this leave Nadine and Toby?
For Jason and Peter, there were 2 properties in the running. Jason fell for the traditional period features in property 2, while Peter was won over by the slick modern styling of house number 4, which was also 35 grand cheaper.
OK, so, Council of War, you've seen 2 very good houses.
Yep. House number 2 is going to be the one that we want to go for.
Really?
Yeah.
OK.
I think for me, it's when we went back today, walking through, it felt more grander and more homely to me.
Goodness me. Well, you have slightly surprised me because of the money side of things, to be honest.
We're both in jobs where we really can save, so probably we'll be in a good financial position to do what we want to do.
It's been a tough call choosing between 2 cracking houses, but I know that house number 2 will make a fantastic home. It's on the market for £315,000, but I'm certain we can get it for less than that.
We know that there is an offer on the table right now at 295 from somebody else. But they're in a chain.
Yeah.
And that offer hadn't been accepted because the vendor wanted to see what you guys were going to do.
Well, they wouldn't go any lower, would they? No. Not if they've got another one on the table, though,
Yeah, but you're not in a chain and they are. So how much is your position worth in financial terms? It's got to be worth a couple of grand.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should just open up with 292.5.
Okay.
Time to nail the deal.
I've got an offer for you. The money that they're prepared to spend on that house is 292,500.
It's a brave offer, 22.5 grand under the asking price, and we don't have to wait long for an answer.
What news? In a very similar position. I hadn't realised that the...
There's no time to waste. As it turns out, the other bidder is due to exchange contracts on their sale the following day, making them chain-free too.
What would it take to do the deal right now, here and now, and get that property off the market in the next 10 minutes?
The pressure's on. Can I close this deal quickly enough?
6 miles away in Camberwell, Nadine and Toby have had their first offer of £330,000 rejected. So we're busy playing the numbers game.
342,500. Is that ridiculous? Is that stupid? I don't know. I mean, 342,500. So we're kind of still 7.5 short.
Do you think that makes a big difference?
I think it does. I think it crosses the 3-4.
Do you?
If they were to offer 342,500, that just leaves them 7.5 grand to put in a bath, put in a kitchen, mend the holes on the roof. OK, brilliant, bye.
How did he feel about that?
He said he's going to go back to them and tell them not to think about it rashly, but to really consider it. We're not going to hear from him again today.
No, that's fine.
It's a good offer for a property that's been on the market for 2.5 years. But with 3 people in charge of making decisions, there's nothing we can do but wait for them to mull it over. And we're all agreed this special property is worth the wait.
Back in Beckenham, Jason and Peter have had their first offer of £292,500 rejected. They're up against another bidder, so we must act fast.
If they get 295 from you guys today, they'll take it off the market, they'll decline the other offer, and the deal is yours.
We've got one last chance. It's now or never.
Do you want to do it? Yeah? 295, cool.
Jason? 295. 295, we have a deal. Terrific. Cheers. Bye. Hey. Woohoo!
Shake the hand.
Way to go. Well done, both of you. Fantastic. Delighted.
Is it always like this?
Yeah. I'm afraid it is. Happy days.
Happy days indeed.
We're going to have a home together.
Yeah, at last.
A few days later, Nadine and Toby's offer of 342,500 was rejected. But determined not to be defeated, they increased it to 346. And a week later, they got great news.
We were over the moon when they accepted our offer.
We were super excited, obviously, really, really excited, because it kind of felt like it was a bit unreachable, this place.
Over the last 4 months, Nadine, Toby and their planning consultant Sean have submitted plans for the property, and at long last, full planning permission has been granted.
But it was wonderful because we knew we could. It was finally time that we could actually move in.
They got the keys yesterday and haven't wasted any time.
We slept here last night. I think everyone thought we were crazy because it's a bit like squatting in someone else's house at the moment.
Yeah, the immediate plans are to kind of get it dry and warm and safe. So we're doing a lot of ripping out for the first couple of weeks. So it's kind of livable, and obviously so the dog can come up and join us. And then we're just going to work floor by floor. That's the plan.
Nadine and Toby had the most specific list of requirements I think I've ever seen.
We said we wanted a 4-bedroom house with a shop front, and we thought that was ludicrous. But look at us now, we're here, isn't it? So
exactly.
They've got a lot of work to do, but their determination and creative flair is inspiring, and I know they're going to make this a fabulous home.
5 months on, and it's all going swimmingly for Peter and Jason.
Well, I was home first, luckily, so I got the keys to the house about 2 weeks ago. And since then, with the help of some friends, I've been really busy trying to make it livable for when Jason came home, which was yesterday.
So I came into a house that was ready and livable. The friends of ours and Peter have done such a great job of preparing the house.
Back on dry land, and our entertainers aren't planning on putting their feet up.
Yeah, I mean, big plans would involve obviously knocking down walls, putting maybe a little glass box kitchen in the back, and but I think in the meantime, what we have to do first of all is live in the house, see how it flows and how it works for us, and then when we come back next time in the summer, we'll get it all redecorated throughout.
After years of staying with family and friends, Peter and Jason finally have somewhere to call home.
Usually I go to my parents' house, Peter will go down to his mum, and it's just going to be nice to have a place, a base that we can finally come to, and we can put out all of our treasures that we've bought from around the world. So this is something to really look forward to.
We definitely haven't let grass grow under our feet, and in fact in 4 days' time we are having a housewarming party here for all of our friends, just to kind of say thank you and welcome them to this area as well.
Excellent. Can't wait for my invite.